What's up, friend? Welcome back here to Seed and Sparrow Homestead. My name is Kelsey. If this is your first time hanging out, we're hanging out in the kitchen today. We are making some freezer meals. I am clean out, and that is a sad day, especially this time of year. So I need to fix that. I have 5 recipes for us to work on today. I'm gonna try and double them all so that I have 10 meals ready to go in the freezer for my family. We are starting the day off with a lasagna recipe with a little bit of a twist. So instead of a traditional lasagna, I'm going to make a pesto chicken lasagna. We're gonna make a bechamel sauce that has pesto in it. I have already cooked all of my meat for all of these recipes, except one where we need it raw. So I have all of my chicken picked off the bone. I just roasted 2 chickens for these recipes, and I have browned up 4 pounds of ground beef for my other recipes. I went searching through my pantry first before I planned these meals to see if there were things that I needed to use. One of those things was some oven-ready lasagna noodles, so that inspired the lasagna recipe. So first we're gonna make this bechamel pesto sauce. So I'm gonna get my pot here over medium heat. I'm gonna add 3 tablespoons of olive oil and 3 tablespoons of butter. We're going to allow those to heat up. Obviously the butter needs to melt. And then I'm gonna add 8 tablespoons of flour. I've allowed this to cook just for like 30 seconds or so, and I'm gonna slowly add in 2½ cups of chicken broth. After the broth, we add 3 cups of milk in as well. I'm just gonna allow this to cook over medium-low heat until it's nice and thick. I'm gonna add some salt and pepper here too. 3/4 teaspoon salt, 1/4 teaspoon black pepper. Now that the sauce has thickened, I'm going to remove 2½ cups of it here and set it aside for later on in the recipe. And then what is left here in the pot, I'm gonna add 1 3/4 cups pesto sauce to. I had some garlic scape pesto left from last year in my freezer, so that's what I am going to use today. For the cheese layer, you need 2 cups of ricotta cheese, ½ cup of freshly grated Parmesan, 1 egg, ½ teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. We are ready to assemble now. So I'm gonna take just a scoop of this pesto chicken bechamel mixture here, about ½ cup. I'm gonna spread that along the bottom of this 9x13 pan. And take some of these oven-ready lasagna noodles. I'm gonna do half of this ricotta cheese mixture here. One cup of shredded mozzarella, about 2 cups of this pesto chicken bechamel, four more noodles, the rest of this ricotta cheese mixture, one more cup of mozzarella, the remainder of the pesto mixture, one last layer of the noodles, then we're going to take this plain bechamel sauce that we set aside, we're going to pour it all over the top. add some more cheese to the top. Then we're gonna cover this. This is gonna bake at 375 for about 40 minutes, and then you might wanna remove the covering and allow the cheese to get nice and brown for about another 10 minutes. Okay, time for my little mid-morning treat slash pick-me-up, which is also part of my beauty and skincare routine. Some matcha with some milk and either honey or maple syrup. Today I'm doing maple syrup, and then in a little bit I'll have my electrolyte too. I've struggled with my skin my whole life, really bad acne growing up. It kind of got better the older I got, but then the last like 7 years of me dealing with health stuff, it has flared up, especially when I am stressed. But overall, just because of nutrient deficiencies and such, it was just looking dry and red and puffy and tired, and it really needed some help. So to help it out, I have been incorporating this Radiant Skin Duo from Peak Life into my daily routine. It's helping from the inside out to nourish and deeply hydrate and bring forth that lovely glow we all want. This matcha is full of wonderful antioxidants to brighten, firm, and clarify, and then also chlorophyll to help detox. It also has L-theanine in it to help balance and smooth. Then I follow up with the Beauty Electrolytes, which is going to nourish, hydrate, and strengthen your skin, leaving it soft and supple and glowing. It's full of bioactive minerals, ceramides, hyaluronic acid, which are all fantastic for your skin. Bonus, both of these things taste amazing. I really appreciate the care that goes into their sourcing, testing for efficacy, purity, and bioavailability, and they make it as super simple with these pre-measured little sachets here. All you have to do is add it to either cold or hot water and you're ready to go. If you would like to support your skin for a limited time, you can get 20% off for life, plus a free starter kit when you purchase my favorites. Peak offers a 90-day money-back guarantee, so you can try it risk-free. Go ahead and check out the link in the description. We're already on to the second recipe. We're gonna make some chicken hand pies. I am going to put a little bit of olive oil here in my pan, and I have chopped up some onion, just one small onion. I'm gonna fry this up for about 5 minutes until it is a bit more tender. While we wait on the onions, I'm gonna cut up the puff pastry. Each sheet I'm gonna cut into 8 equal rectangles. To the onion, I'm gonna add the rest of my chicken here. I'm gonna double this recipe. So there's probably about 3 cups of chicken going in here. I might actually have to transfer this to a different pan. I don't know if this is gonna be deep enough. All right, new pan. Now to this, we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of flour. Stir that up. Now we add 1 cup chicken broth. About a ½ cup of milk. 3/4 teaspoon of salt, ½ teaspoon black pepper, and that is it. Very simple. It still tastes so good. Now I'm just going to split this filling here between the 8 of these pastries, making sure to leave an edge so the top can seal. Freezer meals this time of year are my saving grace. I'm so busy with the garden and the harvest and the preserving, not to mention all the other usual duties as a wife, mom, homemaker, and homesteader. And this heat, my friends, it has been in the upper 90s the last week, super high humidity, and I don't know about you, but when it's hot like this, cooking is the absolute last thing that I want to do. So to know that I've already done the work for myself and I can just go to the freezer, pull something out, and the oven can do its thing, I can focus on everything else and stay a bit cooler. I'm gonna bake these at 350 degrees for about 25 minutes or until they're nice and golden brown. Here is the pesto lasagna all done Looks and smells wonderful. It did get a little bit brown on the top because I was out of aluminum foil. Let me show you what I did. I didn't want the top to get too brown too quickly, so I put a cookie tray on top and it stuck really bad and some of it got kind of burnt on there. So I won't be doing that again. So the lasagna is all finished. We have the hand pies in the oven. So the hand pies, I always have some sort of veggie in my fridge. So I will serve them with some sort of roasted veggie, and that will be a meal. We're gonna move on to our third chicken recipe, and then we're gonna do some beef recipes. So we're gonna make a chicken meatball. This is gonna be a chicken ricotta meatball. So we have 2 pounds of ground chicken here, 2 eggs, ¾ teaspoon of onion powder, a healthy dollop of minced garlic, probably about a tablespoon in there. Gonna use up the rest of the ricotta cheese here. You need about 3/4 cup. I'm also gonna put in some panko. I am using gluten-free, 3/4 cup again. Parmesan cheese, again, 3/4 cup. 1 tablespoon Italian seasoning, a teaspoon of parsley, and a teaspoon of basil. I love doing meatballs in the freezer. These chicken meatballs are so delicious. It's nice to be able to just pull out a single serving if I want for myself for a quick lunch, but mainly these are gonna be used for dinner. I will either serve them with some pasta or as a meatball sandwich. All right, we're moving right along here. If you haven't noticed, these are very simple and quick to put together. I haven't been working for more than an hour and a half at this point, and I have 3 recipes done. I'm working on the 4th. Now we're gonna move to some ground beef recipes. So we're gonna do a sloppy joe casserole with a cornbread topping. So first we're gonna make the sloppy joe. I have all of my browned beef here. I'm gonna just divide this in half for our next 2 recipes. For my sloppy joe, I kind of do it to taste, but I'll tell you what the amounts are per batch, per recipe. Again, I'm doubling this. So for 1 recipe, it is a cup of ketchup, 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, 1½ tablespoons of Worcestershire, 1½ tablespoons of yellow mustard, 1½ tablespoons of brown sugar, garlic to taste. This is probably close to a tablespoon of garlic, 1½ teaspoons of onion powder, 1½ teaspoons of cumin, 1½ teaspoons of chili powder, and then salt and pepper to taste. I will probably start with a teaspoon of salt and ½ teaspoon of black pepper. And give that a stir, and then I give it a taste and adjust as needed. All right, cornbread. We need 3/4 cup all-purpose flour. Again, I'm gonna be doubling this recipe, so do as I say, not as I do. And 3/4 cup of cornmeal. 1/3 cup of granulated sugar. Teaspoon of baking powder. And a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. 3/4 cup of creamed canned corn, 1 egg, ½ cup of buttermilk, third cup of either olive or avocado oil, and then 3 tablespoons of melted butter that has since cooled down. And that's it. I'm gonna get it mixed up. I have these 2 disposable aluminum pans here. I think they're maybe like 8 by 5, and they're about 2½ inches tall. So I'm gonna divide my sloppy joe mixture between these 2. Then the cornbread mixture just gets poured right on top. Okay, 400 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes or until a toothpick comes out clean from the center. And back over to the stove one last time. We're gonna make a beef enchilada casserole. So I have 2 pounds of ground beef. I'm putting in here again, I'm doubling. And then I'll give you the amounts for a single batch. So you'll need 1 teaspoon of chili powder. Then I'm gonna use some of this seasoning blend from Redmond Real Salt. I love all of their seasoning blends. This is chili lime. It is super good. I love it in tacos, enchiladas, burritos, all of those things. It's also just really good on chicken. But I'm gonna do a teaspoon of that, about a teaspoon of minced garlic, 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, and a teaspoon of salt. Now I am adding some diced tomatoes and some black beans. I have 2 cans of each, but you'll need 1 can each, and you want to drain them. The last ingredient you're gonna need is some enchilada sauce. I have this here from Siete. It's their red enchilada sauce. It's very good and it has pretty clean ingredients in it. Okay, we're just gonna mix this up, and this one is ready to assemble. To assemble these, you need some corn tortillas. You can use any type of tortilla. I'm just using corn. About 4, maybe 5 here. Maybe I'll do 6 in the bottom. You just wanna cover the bottom. A beef enchilada mixture here. You'd want to split it in half, so do half of it first on this bottom layer. Then I shredded up just some random cheese I found in the fridge, so I have a mixture here. Again, you'll put half on this first layer. $375 for about 25 minutes. It is hot in here. The oven has been going for the last 2 hours and it's about 90 degrees outside, and I haven't had the air on very much because it's so loud and then you guys can't hear me. So I am thankful to be done. But just over 2 hours and I have 10 dinners ready to go for my freezer. I am so excited to have them. Now, obviously, I have cooked them. They're baked and ready to go. That's my preferred method of doing freezer meals. That way it saves me some time later on. They're ready, so all I have to do is reheat them. So as always, I will make sure that they're completely cool before I go ahead and wrap them to store in the freezer. I will label them, and to reheat them, if I am thinking ahead, I will pull it out the night before I want to use it and allow it to thaw in the fridge. Then I will just put it in the oven covered because I don't want anything to dry out at like 325 for about 20 minutes, just until it's heated through. Now, oftentimes with me, I don't always think ahead and pull it out before I need to use it. So you can totally reheat these from frozen. Again, I will keep it covered. It's just gonna take a while in the oven. I would still reheat at like 325 to 350 and maybe an hour, hour and a half until it's ready to go. A little over 2 hours of work, and I've saved myself so much time in the future. 10 meals for the freezer, ready to nourish my family whenever I need them to. Let me know which one of these recipes you want to try, or just drop me a heart emoji down in the comments. I hope this was helpful and provided some inspiration. Thank you for taking some time out of your day to hang out with me. I hope you enjoyed. Any questions, let me know. Otherwise, you have a blessed week, my friend, and I will see you next time. Take care.